learn about more on list function. Just like our first one is append. So what does append does? Append is used to add one element to a list. Suppose if you have a list in Python, just like 1, 2, 3. Now if you print the list, you will get a list as 1, 2, 3. Now if you want to add one more element, you can do this like, but this is modifying value. This is not the original list. So if you check the ID of this L, you will get this one. Now if you again, if you run this after creating new list, you can see that our list was changed. But now I want to add one value to this list. So what I will do, I will use dot append. It only accepts one argument, and the argument must be element. So let's say here, if you want to add, make 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll do it like this, L dot append 4. Now our L becomes 1, 2, 3, 4. And even now you can check ID of L. You can see that our list, without changing our list, we have added the element. In this case, what we have done that L is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, when we assign this, we got new ID. But if you want to add new element to that same list without changing that list, so you need to use dot append method. And this is the reassigning, not adding new value. This is basically reassigning value to the L. So this is all about append. Append is basically used to add the element at the end of a list. Our next one is deleting list. Suppose we are working with this list and there is no use of this list now. So this is just like waste of memory. So what we can do it like, we can delete this. Now if you execute now print L, it will give name error L is not defined and even ID of L. So basically it is storing before the value. Now there is no work of it, so we can also delete this list. So here you can see that the purpose is to delete the entire list. We use del and list. So list is your list. And after this, we can also delete any element using this method. Suppose a list is equals to 1, 2, 3. Let's take a string, right? Okay, so now L of let's say 3, L of let's say 2 is C. You can here at second index, this is 0 at A, B at 1, C at 2. So at index 2, we have the C. So now if you want to delete this element, you can also do it like this. Del L2. Delete, it is like delete list name and then index. This will delete that element from your list. So now if you again print L, here you can see that the C is deleted here from the list L. So in this way you can delete the elements, delete one element using this index. So if you know the index of that element, you can delete it. Now our next one will have, also you can delete the slices of list. Let's suppose L is equals to, I'll make it a little longer list. Let's say, so this is our L now. Now what we want that, let's say if I want to delete from B to D. Okay, so if I want to delete from B to D, we have to first check what is the index of the B. So B is at index 1. So you can see that B is at index 1 and D is at index 0, 1, 2, 3. And D is at index 3. So what we're going to do, if you try to access list from index 1 to 3, but we want up to 3. So we'll take one next after it. So it's like 3 plus 1, or you can also write 4. So this will, so this 1 to 4 will goes up like 1, 2, 3, but 4 will not come up there. And what that, and at this index, L1 list, I mean at index 1, we have A, at index 2, we have B, sorry, at index 1, we have B, at index 2, we have C, at index 3, we have D. So here you can see we got B, C, D. Now I want to delete this slice. This is sub list, I mean slice of list. Now if you want to delete this section, delete this slice, deleting the slide. Now if you try to print L after this, here you can see that B and C and D, these all three elements are removed from the list, original list. And ID of list is still remaining same. Okay, we have created from the new one. Okay, one more thing we can do is like, let's say, now if you want to check the ID of L, this is the ID of list we got. Now, if you want to delete alternate elements, like if you want to delete B, D, F, H, J, so what we do, colon, colon, 2. So it will start from 0 index and 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, it will goes up like that. So what this will return, colon, colon 2, it returns 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, up to it is valid. So from list what we got, so from list we got A, we not get B because B is at index 1, we get C but not D, and then E, not F, but G and I, A, C, E, G, I. And after I, if you skip 2 steps, there is no element, so it is not going to print anything. So here you can see that A, C, E, G, I. Now if I want to delete this, you can also delete using a step method. Now if you try L, so here you can see that A, C, E, G, I, these all elements are got deleted. And if you see the ID of L, it's the same list. It is not like you are reassigning like L is equals to this. It's like before we have done that for adding element 4, what we've done that we have created new list. So you can see that here we have created new ID, the Python created new ID. So basically this is reassignment. So without changing list, we can delete this, can delete elements at that position using slices. So next one is, wait a second. So next one is extend. So what does extend do? Suppose if you want, just like let's suppose your list has A, all of the vowels. Let's say vowels equals to A, E, I, O, U. Okay. Now you want uppercase vowel also. Uppercase vowels. Let's say UPC in short form. A, E, I, O, and then U. Now what you want, that you want to extend the vowel by this uppercase vowel. So you can also do concatenation. It's like you can do vowel plus uppercase vowel. So it returns by adding all of them one by one. So, but our vowels list is still A, E, I, O, U in small. We want this vowel list to be updated. And if you check ID of the vowel, I mean vowels. So here you can see this is our ID of vowels. Now, if you want to add these elements to the vowel also, which are in uppercase, in simple words, if you have list and you want to add more elements which are in other list, so you can do this. So you can achieve this using list function which is extend. So vowels dot extend, we have short form for this uppercase vowel. So now if you check the ID of vowel, it is not updated. ID of vowel is same. It means we are going, and let's also check the vowels. So here you can see that vowels list is updated without changing, without reassigning new values to vowel. Just like we have not done it like vowels equals to new list or something else. It creates new ID. So if we want to just to update its value, not update, basically add new values to the list. Now, okay, we can also use this. For example, if you try output of range 1 to 2, okay, it's not giving the output, but let's try this. You have list A equals to empty list and A dot extend. If you want the number from, let's say, 1 to 5. So instead of writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a list one by one, we can do it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go one extra, as range will leave uppercase, upper boundary limit, upper limit. So if you execute this and print A, so here you can see that using this command you can also, and let's say A equals to, again do this A dot extend. If you want only even numbers, so you can also achieve this using range. And let's say you want even number up to 100, and we are going to step 2. So for even number, we should start from 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4, and 2 plus 2 is 6, and then plus 2 is 8. So now if you print A, we are going to massive list. So you can see that we got 2 to 98. So previously we are achieving this using the for loop. We are printing 1 by 1, 2, 4, 6, 8 using range. But now we have created a list where values are stored. So now if you want to check, if you want to know the what is that, what is the fifth even number, you can do it like this. Fifth, basically sixth even number. If you want to check fourth even number, you can basically just minus 1. If you want to check first even number, just minus 1 within it. So our first even number is 2. If we consider 2 as a first even number. So there's difference between append and extend. So you should not get confused. I will explain that. Let's say your A equals to 1, 1, uh, let's say A and M. So if you want to add element, add one element, use dot append. Dot append, and dot append has a syntax like list dot append element. So if you want to add something to it, so you can use dot a dot append 5. Let's say something else, q. So we have in list A we have A and M. Now we are appending Q. So what will happen after this? If you print A, you got Q. But if you want to add multiple elements or any other sequence, then we are going to use this syntax, which is extend function. This is syntax for extend, and here you have to give sequence. You can even give sequence, or you can even give multiple elements in any bracket, just like element 1, let's say E1, E2, like this, or even curly braces, or even you can also pass list. So let's say a dot extend. Let's type the first sequence, which is, let's say 1 and 2 we are going to add. So if you print a, we got also 1 and 2. If you do a dot extend, let's say using this, what you're going to add, we are, let's say, add this, add this. So as now if you print this, so in this way you can also add this list after this without changing, without reassigning new a. And after that you can also extend using this. Let's say some other punctuators. Now if you check a, so we got a here. Here you can also see that we, when we added 1 2, so it got one by one. It's like first one and two, just like we have sent that order, so it did not change the order for normal bracket and for square bracket, which is list, which is exclamation mark and a hashtag. But for this one, it changes order. So this is basically random, and we are going to learn about after list and after list tuple, and we are going to learn about dictionary and then set. So what is basically set? Set is basically unordered pair. So Python can do anything. It's like first to this one, either first this one. So set can be iterated from 1 to 2, 2 to 1, whatever. So it is random. Basically it is a random collection. So that's all about extend. If you want multiple things or even iterable element or any sequence, you have to use extend. Next is index. So find the position of value, just like we are doing when we are using delete command. Let's say if I want to delete m, if I want to delete this m, I need to first count what is the index. It's like 0 1 2. So L is at 2. So we have first verified that L2 is m, sorry, A2 is m. So after getting A2, then we are going to delete A2, and now we are printing A. So here you can see that we have deleted. But when you are coding, you are not going in this manual way. So we have one function which is index. It is used to find the index of very first occurrence of that. For example, here you want to find, let's say if I want to delete this element, so I need to get the index of q. So I can find the index of this q using a dot index q. So here you can see it, we got index 2. So if you want to now check that what is that a of 2 in list A, what is that element? What is element at index 2? Here we got q. So now you can easily delete without verifying and without worrying. And when you check A, here you can see that there is no q here. So you can, using index, this is index function which is used to delete elements. What does it take? It has syntax like list dot index, and index only takes one argument, which should be form of integer, and it also should be valid index of the list. So this is all about list index. Now after this we have insert. Let's say you want to insert like, okay, let's first try it. You can see a purpose, insert element at a specific position. Okay, so just like we are doing done append, what does append does? What does append do? It basically add elements at the end of this list. So if we want to add elements between the list, we can use L insert. So let's try this. Let's say we have element, let's say we have list A. So, and we want to add between just after 1. So we will first find the index. So A dot index, index 1. We're getting at index 1 is at, let's add at another position. Say, so let's say we want after this, after exclamation, I mean at index 4. So what we can do, A dot insert. First we need to pass the index, and then we are going to pass the, let's say we are also writing more on this, so we will get inserted value at 4, at 4. It's like at 4th index. Now if you check A, and let's say check A of 4, you can see that inserted value at A4. So in this way, if you want to insert value at the 4th index, you will get, you can use that a dot insert command of, I mean list function of this, and it has syntax like your list name dot insert, insert and an index, and then value. So using this command, you can insert any index, any element at whatever index you want, and make sure that index should be valid range and index is only as integer. Our next one command is pop. Let's say if I want to delete, or we have already delete the element. Just like if you want to delete something, let's say we have this element A, and you want to delete this question mark. You can delete it like delete L, and then we need to pass the index of this question mark. So for passing that index, what we can do, not L, actually A. For getting index of that question mark, we use A dot index question mark. So using this, we get the index, and after getting index, we go to A of that index. So basically, it again returns the question mark, and after that, it will going to delete that. So now if we check A, we is the question mark has got deleted. But we have another method for deleting from last. You can use A dot pop. If you do A dot pop, it basically returns some value and also delete the value at the last, delete the last element of the given sequence or list. So in this way you can use it. Like you can also check help command on pop, A dot pop. So here you can see that index, here you can see that index by default is -1. So what does index equals to -1 means? Index -1 means last element. Just like we are not passing anything, so it is automatically taking the last element. Now let's try this. If you want to, if you want to delete something from 4th index, let's first check what is at A of 4. A4. So we have this. Let's say we want to remove this because we have done this. There is no use of now. So if you want to remove this, you can use a dot pop 4. So you can see that it also returned the value. So what is basically the difference between delete and a dot pop? It returns the value. Let's try one more time with this. We have a like this, and if you use del a of -1, basically we are going to delete again last element. So it returns nothing. You can see it return, if you assign this value is equals to del of a -1. So here you can see that it returning nothing, and also it is giving error because del is a keyword. So now if we do it like this, val is equals to, first check the value of a is like this list, and we are now going to delete exclamation mark. Now if you want to store what the values got deleted now, val is equals to a dot pop. Now if you print the val, we got exclamation mark. Why? Because a dot pop also returns the deleted element. but it's not no longer stored in A. So basically, you can say that it removes from here and it comes here, and it will not be in the list anymore now. So that is the purpose of pop. You can delete element using indexing, or and it also returns the value. This is the main difference from of list from of basically list function of pop from the del. Okay, it also raises function indexing error. Just like here you can see that it raises index error on empty list. So what does this mean? Basically, empty list just like L is equals to this, and if you try to access L of -1, there is index out of range. It is giving error. In the same way, if you do L dot pop, it will also get pop from empty list. So it is also giving index error. Now this is exactly what we have covered, just like a pop index. Just like here you have search help a dot pop, it runs pop index, and we have tried this a dot pop 4, and it returned that value, and that value is also deleted. Its inserted value at 4 is also got deleted from at a listing. So that's all for this. Now our next one is, now we have something more on list. Okay, we have a few of the programming question. We will cover up this shortly. So now our next one is a dot list dot remove value. Okay, so used while processing collection of data. So it is similar to pop, but it should have something different. It's like L dot pop. Okay, if you want to remove using index, you should use dot pop method. It's like we have list dot pop, and we need to pass index. But now what we have is remove. In this, what we have that list dot remove element. So let's try this. We have a, and if we want to remove, let's say we want to remove n from that. So instead of passing index, we can directly pass n. Now if you try to print a, so you can see that n is removed. So basically, this is how remove is different from pop. So what does pop take? Pop takes index of that element, while remove takes directly element. Now there is one more thing. It says remove the first matching value. What does that mean? Let's say, let's create a new list. L equals to A, and then we are going to make B, and then C, and then B, and then D, and again B. So if we now print L, what we get that A, B, C, D, A, B, C, B, D, B. So now if you try to do this, A, L dot remove, because in index we don't have problem like this. We have single value at single L, single index position. But now we have like multiple values. Now if you pass this L dot remove B, which value is going to be removed? So what does it will do? It will remove first matching pair. First matching one will be removed. So now if you check to print, if you try to print L, you can see that our first matching B is here. So this from this position, index 1 it got deleted. And the same way, also one more thing, let's create one again. So now if you want to check L dot index of the B, it is also going to return the first one, first matching pair. And let's again run this. Now what will happen? First one is row. Now again try to pass L dot index B. It is giving us 2. So basically 0 at 1 is C, at 2 is now B. So now if you again do this and again try to print L, you can see that that L dot index B is now moved 3. This is another one. Now if you try to remove this, now if you print L. So in this way you can get that stream. What does remove do in list? Remove basically removes the first element occurring in the list. So this is how remove is going to be used. And it also raises value error if value is absent. Let's say L dot remove. And if you again run B, if you again try to remove B, because as there is no B in this, it will give a value error list dot remove x not in the list. Basically, x is our value B. It is indicating that B is not in the list. Next one is clear. Okay. Now let's say we have list like this, and if you check the ID of the list, it is this. Now if you want to empty the list, you can do it like this, but this will create a new ID. So you can see that it created new ID. So what we want to do is like, let's say if you have this list, and if now if you check the ID of this list, okay, now this is about Python, how it can save the list in its memory. So this is not the same as that. It is just reassign that got deleted one. So this is the new ID basically you can think of like, okay, let's do it 5. Okay, basically it is interchanging on its own. So we have currently ID of the list is this one. Now if you want to clear this list without doing like reassigning, because reassigning we know that it creates new ID. So what are you going to do? L dot clear. So in this way if you do, here you can see that ID of this list L is remains same for here after creating after assigning list. But here you can see that we have the list already and we got this, and when we want to try to empty list using this empty list method, our ID got changed. So so in some case after programming where you may don't need this or this may cause error. So this is useful that list.clear you are going to use. So you can say list object remains but becomes empty. So you can this is basically list object indication that list object is same but it becomes now empty. Count is another one feature of the list which is used to count the occurrence of the element. For example, we have let's say this list. Yeah, we have this list A B C B D B. So what we're going to do with this? Let's say we are going to count L dot count occurrence of B. How many times of B is occurred in list L? So if you enter this, you got 3. L dot count L dot count is COUNT A, and then if you want to see for D, because these all are the one and only B1 is 3, so we got them. So in this way, you can count the list, count the elements of the list, how many of frequency of that, and you can see it always returns integer. So here is syntax list dot count string, not a string element basically element of list. So and it returns integer. Our next one is reverse. Although we can reverse it using like this, just like we have L like this. You can reverse like colon minus 1. But our L is still the same A, B, C, B, D, B. It is not got changed. We want to change L. So for changing L, we are not also again going to do it like this. L is equals to L colon minus 1. It changes the ID of L. Suppose I will try this. Now ID of L is different. Okay, for some reason it is same. I- oh. But we can also reverse it using this. Reverse L dot reverse. We got the again same and again reverse. we got this again. So in this way, using reverse function, you can reverse your list. And L dot reverse will return nothing. It basically modifies the original list. It does not return a new value. Now we have one important function which is sort. Sorting is going to be used in most of the cases. So if you are going to use L dot sort, let's say what we got. So our whole list is got sorted. First is A, B, 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 C, D. So why is that this order? If you check the ORD of the A, it is 97. ORD of the B, it is 98. ORD of the C, ORD of C is syntax error. ORD of D, it is 100. So in this way, 97, 98, 99, 100. So basically, what does Python C is like? 97, 98, 98, 98, 99, 100. In this way, it ordered them. And if you want to check what is ORD, you can also use like this. ORD returns a Unicode print of for one character string. One character string basically means a single element of the string, or you can even say character, that's also okay. And that's all about sorting. You can also, one more thing, let's say if you want to sort in reverse order, for example, currently L is like this. You have sorted L, but you want that reverse function. Reverse is like this is currently this is ascending order. It is going from smaller one to the larger one. In reverse equals to true is going like descending order from larger one to the smaller one. So now if you try L, you can see that the smaller one comes here. So it is like 100, 97, 98, 100, 99, 98, 98, 98, 97. So in this way you can use. So basically what is does that syntax L dot sort reverse, not L dot sort. We have like list dot sort reverse equals to bool. So what is bool here? Bool means boolean data. It can be either true or false. Let's say I'm doing L. We have L like. Let's create a new one with a random one. So this is our random, and let's go with this L dot sort. You can also write it like this: reverse equals to false. Although it is by default it is false, but you can also write it if you want to. So now if you try L, so you can see that it is going from ascending order. Now let's again reassign that L list. We have a reassigning list, and after that here one is false. Now what we are going to do, we are going to make it true. If you run this, we got the opposite order. One two earlier it was 1 2 3 4 5 6 6. Now it is 6 6 5 4 3 2 1. So in this way you can use L dot sort in this and for sorting your list in ascending or descending order. Okay, now sorted is inbuilt function. L list dot there is one major difference between L dot sort and sorted, which let's cover this up. So for sorted, let's write again L is equals to this. Now sorted is not like using L list dot sorted. It is sorted inbuilt function. So you are going to use sorted L. And if you check the L is not going to update. L is 1523466, 15232423466. So sorted, what does sorted does? It basically creates a new list, creates a new copy of the list and return that. So if you try this, wait a second. If you try it like this, for example, new new L new underscore L is equals to sorted L, and if you try to print L, L is the same as earlier one, where you try to new underscore L. It is a sorted of the L. So you can for more name convention, you can write sorted L is equals to sorted, and this is one is function, this one is variable, this one is variable, and this is inbuilt function which is applying on L. Now you can check sorted L. So in this way you can sort your list and using another method, but only if you want a copy of that value without sorting the original list. And uh, so these are some of the questions we are going to cover in the next lecture.